how would I put it now? My relatives, uncles and aunts were not actually there for me. So to really get attached to them at this period, it's kind of hard. So I always feel like they have to.
Yeah, I think mine is abandonment issues. There are levels to this though. It's not like I was abandoned. I don't
Yes,
like, oh my gosh, who abandoned?
Who abandoned? You have mother, you have father. How is that abandonment issue?
Oh,
Billions of mistakes. Because like it's like
Oh,
first time I'm
gosh.
doing.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rika Girly Speaks. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more spiritual and psychological tips to help make your life a lot easier and better. It's nice to have a video where I can just sit down and speak with, a friend, a professional, a graduate, a nurse. So you guys, I'm here with Samuel. I'll let him introduce himself because I think I wanted to introduce him, but
Samuel.
he's afraid I'll do too much. You see? No, that's not all. You guys, he's a registered nurse, and he is, single. Winks. He's very, very cool. He's a good friend. So yeah, this is Samuel, and I'm so glad to have him here for this video. Thank you so much for being here, Samuel.
It's a pleasure.
He's acting like he's shy. When he starts,
I'm
you guys
shy,
will see
yo.
very real.
Please, oh.
But recently, I've been noticing some behaviors from myself that were kind of strange, and I was really just trying to trace it. Like, why do I do this? Because it was kind of like a cycle or a pattern that I saw with different people, and I'm like, why do I keep behaving this way? And after I behave that way, I kind of feel guilty afterwards. I feel bad, but then I do it again. So I'm like, what? It's like an addiction. I don't know. It's like an addiction. It was really a problem.
You
like,
really love it. The way you did it. Yes, you
did I love it? Yeah, in the moment.
Yes,
in the
now
moment.
you definitely like it
In
now.
the moment, yeah, in the moment. But when you say that, people are probably thinking something else. It's not sex. But yeah, in the moment it was enjoyable. But after, there's lots of guilt attached to it, and I just really wanted to identify why I was behaving that way and what could cause it. So
You did some research.
Exactly. So I got to understand that there are lots of different events or experiences that people have during childhood that affect them later in the future, and a lot of that is linked to trauma or difficulties or just strange events that happen from childhood. So yeah, I was able to realize I actually had something that I had to work on. There are a lot of people out there that are probably suffering from childhood traumas or traumatic reactions to events, and they don't even know why. They just see themselves doing it. Maybe they will enter one relationship, they will lose the guy, second relationship, they lose the guy. I don't even know.
That's actually deep. Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
they'll think it's the guy that's the problem, but they don't realize that there's something about them that they need to fix, and vice versa. Yeah. I'm sure everybody has a childhood trauma, including you. Everybody.
Yes, because the two of us actually had an argument really later before.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I had a trauma. And I was like,
Mhm.
no, I
You
don't
didn't
have
accept.
any. She actually wanted to beat me up though. That part of her trauma. And then I was like, no, I did not have any. Well, and then later on I discovered I actually do.
Yeah.
Because everybody, as she said, does have one.
Yes.
But
So
it's part of the behavior we all do have.
exactly. And it's important for us to identify it so that we can learn to work on it, so it doesn't affect our future and our present.
Yes.
What is childhood trauma, first of all? Some people have never heard this term in their life. They're like, what is this? What is this? Trauma. The only thing they know about trauma is maybe when you injure yourself in an accident.
Now,
Head trauma.
it's the same
That's the
thing
only
now.
thing they know.
Trauma is when you fall down and then you just like
Yeah.
have a
But
whole lot of-
I don't think that's the context we're using for this video.
Oh yeah. Well, this video is just more of trauma, like psychological trauma,
exactly.
basically. It happens to a child that does not have, that is physically or psychologically stressed. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
Where the person has a stressful event, psychologically
Yeah.
or physically. It can either be by child abuse, examples, or it can be the parent not physically there
Yeah, that's
and emotionally there. So those are just examples. So
I think there are different types of childhood trauma.
yes, there are practically a lot.
Okay, just list a few. Maybe as you're seeing it, some people might decide to Google one and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm suffering from this. You know?
Oh yeah, sexual abuse.
Yeah, that's a big
from
one.
child, emotional abuse. It can be verbal. It can be your parent not physically there for you,
Yeah.
having an house help to do everything, and then not
Yeah.
being there to really talk to you emotionally.
Exactly.
So those are also some examples. And you get influenced by your mother or your father drinking or taking alcohols, and then you can't really get it out of your head. Those are also childhood trauma.
Yeah, and even a broken home. Yeah, see your father beat your mom.
Yes.
Oh, that
Domestic.
can really affect
About
the
it.
child. So yeah, those are some examples.
I'm quite the whole lot.
They are really it's a lot. See, you just really need to Google it and look up different types of childhood traumas. Maybe you identify one that you can relate with, so that you can start working on yourself. So how does it? If it's during childhood, why don't we just get over it? I mean, it happened when you're a child. Now that you're an adult, things are different.
Exactly.
So why is it still affecting us now?
Well,
like,
yeah.
why does this still affect you now when it's something that has happened like years ago?
Well, let's just put it like this, because we were a child then, and then we tried to learn when we are small. So everything we learn at that point becomes a part of us. That's when the Catholic always used to say,
Yeah,
give us your child
for 7 years.
7 years, and then you'll be a Catholic for life. So everything that happens between those period of 7 years, or even up to sometimes 15, you can still affect you later in life.
Yeah, that's very, very, very true. And lots of time the mind suppresses painful events.
Yes, actually, that's
help you cope.
another one. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a coping
It's a coping
mechanism.
mechanism,
basically.
exactly.
So it helps you to cope with a whole lot of other stressful events that are going on.
And later on in the future, it just bursts out of nowhere.
Yes.
Like, what? Where did this come from? Like, you didn't know it was there, but it was always there. Looking at children who maybe were sexually abused, I think that's a very common one.
Yes,
Sexual abuse. A lot of children are sexually abused.
Mm-hmm.
Even guys.
It's
not
quite,
just ladies.
it's quite common. Yeah. And a lot of times people always focus more on the lady,
Yeah.
but then they tend to neglect the guy,
Yeah.
because if a guy should come up to you and say, I was
say
sexually
he likes
harassed when
it.
I was small.
You say that, what?
Why won't you like it
I'm
now?
like, why would you say something like that? That's so
Because
sad.
it's making you a man. You have to be manly and all, but it's really, really, really affecting a whole lot of guys there
Yes.
now.
Yes.
And then you always have to get deep before you can know that, because a guy does not want to talk about.
Yeah, that's the issue.
it.
Why don't you guys speak up? Speak up, because if you don't speak
Because
up,
if I
how would
speak
we
up,
know?
you will still
How would
abuse me.
But
What's
you
the
I
truth now?
won't. You will. Okay, you mean me like the world?
No,
like
no,
universal.
no.
It's not true. You know that. You know that I would definitely try to empathize with you and try to understand. Yes.
That's because you're a
Stand up.
psychologist.
Exactly.
But
Be
you
like,
still
what?
have so much.
And from that, some people become sex addicts just from abuse. They were abused from young. And then they
Yes,
become
yes,
sex
yes.
addicts.
That's always.
A lot of
what-
them usually become
yes,
sex addicts.
that's just the most common one.
Yes,
And that's why you
the common
see
response.
guys always trying to rape the girl most times.
Exactly.
Because
It's
they've
not a
already
justification.
experienced the rape, so they're trying to like.
You
Let's
give
do
what
next.
you have. You can't
Yes.
give what you don't have. You continue.
Exactly.
Cycle.
It's a cycle.
And parents that come from broken homes or homes where the parents are divorced, you see them also having a broken home in the future.
Yes, so
It's like you
it's also
experience
a
that.
cycle
Shouldn't
now,
that keep
yes,
you from
yes.
going through that in the future? But you find yourself.
But the truth about it is that you keep experiencing it. You
Yeah.
always want to prevent it, but you don't know that it's still there.
it's still there.
And then you just experience it.
And that's why you have to be very intentional, and that's why we're making this video, so that you don't repeat the same mistakes. You don't continue to live in that trauma. You heal. You need to start your journey of healing, your journey of recovery.
Exactly.
Most African homes, or should I say black people homes, fathers are usually not present.
Oh, wow.
Fathers are usually not
Imagine me,
present
man.
in their family,
What?
in their homes.
Now, it should be my work.
Why?
What's my work now? My work is just to provide for the family now.
And that's the issue.
And then leave the house.
That's the issue.
But that's the truth now.
And that's what and that's why a lot of people are getting it wrong. How would you live in a home you only see your dad maybe once or twice in a month?
Oh, wow.
No,
That's bad.
It's not okay. It really does affect you growing up, especially ladies, because you need that kind of manly
Yes,
behavior,
exactly.
idea to know what to even look out for and stuff.
Exactly. So,
And you try to fill it up with other guys, the love that you haven't got from your
yes,
daddy and stuff like that.
So, you It always happens that way.
Yeah. So what can they? I think okay. So we said they should identify it. So after they've maybe done their research and they Googled and they know that okay, this is what I have. How can they manage it? How can they heal from it, recover from it?
Wow, that's really a deep one. Well, first of all, to find a solution, you have to always identify the problem. And for the fact that you identify the problem, it's a very big step
Yeah.
to actually solving the problem. So you actually have to own up to it. The first and most important one is actually to seek the face of God. That's always what I'll say first too, because nobody can
It's
help
the
you
truth. It's the
more
truth.
than God. Because some people always want to put Him last.
You're hearing from a nurse, so a scientific person.
But
It's true.
it's always very 1st. Even before you try any other thing.
Yeah.
Just go to God, and then He will help you out. And then the second one you need is to get to a psychologist as fast as
Thank you
possible.
for appreciating our career.
A psychologist.
Yeah.
And anyone you can easily get to, a therapist, you can actually get to that
Yeah.
also, and then it's very easy for you. And then even if you can't get to that, just get somebody to talk to. That is very important, because guys most times don't talk, and even if it's your paddy, you can actually try to talk to the paddy.
Why do
That
guys
guy.
talk? I'm so sorry to cut
You
you.
guys actually talk.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
To only specific people.
No, not to only specific people. It's just that we have people we talk to.
That's the
People
thing.
that we know that they won't carry our.
Okay.
Our
So you only have
talks
like maybe
out.
one or two people that you only open up to. Everybody else you just Child, I don't even think you open up to me. That's so sad. And I'm a psychologist and I'm his friend. Anyways, continue.
Cast me. So, a lot of times, guys don't talk.
Yeah.
We always have to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing you have to do is to read books. So.
Yes.
Because it's very, very important. Because the secret of this whole work, it's always inside the book.
That's true.
It's always inside the book. So you have to pick up a book.
Africans don't like reading. Wait.
Yeah, that's always very important. And then last and not, well, listen to people, get people's experience over all these things, and then go make research to find solutions to this thing. Because if you don't even try to find the solution, my brother, my sister, it's really
Suicide, depression, anxiety.
it's really a whole lot. But for the fact that you already know it's a problem, I give you kudos.
Yes. I lost a friend to suicide this year.
Wow.
I don't want to lose anybody else, honestly. Yeah. So
And you can actually just contact her too if you're feeling depressed. She's really there, and then she will help you out.
Please just speak up. It has to do with being intentional. Everything that he mentioned, it takes into intentionality.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you actually have to take that step, not just sit there and be like, oh, this would be a great idea. And then you still sit there and you don't do anything.
Ideas are just up here.
That's all.
They don't get out of here.
And get help. Don't feel bad if you identify with any of these traumas. Don't feel like, oh, you're a lost cause or you're such a horrible person.
You are not lost, my
You're
dear.
like, why am I still suffering from this? After all these years, I should have been over it. I'm weak. I'm that. No, those are all lies. You're just a human being, and all those reactions are normal. So please go and get help, and also pray. There's nothing that God cannot do. He's the biggest source in regards to solution. So once you go to God and pray, and you take all these other things, He would even guide you in all the other steps that you will take. Yeah. So
Very important.
please do that.
No.
You get to see some of these things when you get really, really close to someone.
Yes,
you know?
now that's just the truth.
That's the truth.
And then some people don't actually open up until they have intimate friendship.
Exactly.
So
that's when you get to see some of these things and you realize that you're maybe acting out or you're projecting on someone,
Yes.
things that are false.
all these
You
mechanism
know,
of
that's just it.
coping mechanisms.
If you're there and you feel like maybe you can relate as a child, you didn't really receive much emotional there wasn't much of an emotional presence or physical presence. Really, as a child, if you were only left in the care of your help, a lot of children like that, your parents were never there, and they will every time you cry, they always want to leave. I think it can affect children of the future, honestly. It can
Not even
affect
children.
trust issues, serious trust issues.
That's different.
Yeah. If you know someone that you do feel needs to watch this video, please share. It's very, very important.
Important to
Please share this video and like and subscribe. You guys, I don't want to make this video so long. He's a very busy man. He has places to go to, things to do. So thank you so much for being here with us.
It's a pleasure.
Really,
I
really appreciate it. So this is Samuel, you guys. It's been a great one with you all. I really hope that you learn and you gain from this. Do have a wonderful day. God bless you. Bye.
Ciao.